Okay, so let's get to it. The top 10 tips of highly successful hand models.
They say fashion kills. It's a murder scene. Make that murder kill anybody.
Hi you guys, Anita Buffem here. Now listen, I know a lot of you guys know me from being a famous model for JCPenney's. Some of you may not know that I actually have continued to model all these years. You know, a lot of models have very short-lived careers because, you know, they don't stay beautiful like me. But I continue to model. Now, let me take you back a little bit. One day I was doing a shoot for JCPenney's, and one of the head guys over there came down. He was watching all of us models shoot, you know. Of course, I did the activewear for JCPenney's, and then I got promoted for my talent and beauty to do the Women of Stature bathing suit collections. So one of the head guys from JCPenney's came down, who was part of casting the models and all that. And he looked at me and he said, and I'll never forget this. He looked at me and he said to me, "Anita, I think we're done. You have the face for hand modeling." You know, I'd never thought about that before. I mean, here's this whole area of my career that I'm missing out on. So I ran down to my agent, Vinny, down at Pretty Woman Inc., Talent Management, and told him I want to start going into the realm of hand modeling. I can't tell you how many guys have told me how nice my hands are. So what I want to do is I want to share with you guys 10 tips for highly successful hand models. Now, I've written them down here for you so we can go through and so I can tell you. I put a lot of thought into this video, you guys, because, you know, my producer, she told me I really need to be prepared for this one because I'm so well known in this general area, so I should be prepared. So, I wrote them down. Okay, tip number 1, have pretty hands. Tip number 2, okay, you're going to have to study and practice. You know, hand modeling takes a lot of work, you know. There's a lot of different, you know, poses and ways you're going to have to, you know, hold your hands if you want to be a hand model. There are so many hand moves you have to know how to do. And I'd recommend, you know, maybe you go down to Barbizan School of Modeling, where I've done some seminars there. Well, not seminars, I was picking my niece Tina Marie up there and just got talking to some of the girls in the hallway. One of my favorite shoots I did was for a pepper grinder. And you had to really, you know, they really wanted me aggressively. I'll never forget the guy running the shoot there, the photographer. I really had to, anyway, he had me practice a lot before we started. Tip number 3, you're going to want to take photos of your hands, okay? Now, this is a little bit tricky. If you want a tutorial on how to photograph your hands with using your own hands to take the picture, let me know in the comments below. Tip number 3, okay, you're going to want to apply to different agencies, okay, and make sure you get a good agency, not just any, you know, Joe Blow off the street, because you're going to have an agent who can help you make the connections, okay, you're going to want to make the connections. Tip number 5, you're going to want to have to get a manicure before each shoot. You do not want to show up to a shoot without having your manicure done. Now, so what I recommend is having your housemaid get a certificate for doing manicures, okay? Then you can always have her do it for you whenever you need. Now, I know a lot of you people are the poors because, you know, a lot of you people can't afford cable, you guys who are watching YouTubes. But don't worry. You do have to pay for the certificate, but once they have it, what you can do is you can make your housemaid work it off, so it all comes, you know, full circle. Tip number 6, steady hands. Steady hands is very important. I'll never forget, you know, you might have to hold a pose for a very long time, like I said, you know. But don't worry, there's tips you could do. I know a lot of the photographers I worked with would have me, you know, get all the shakes out before we started, which was good, you know, because you never knew how long you were going to be in a pose, you know. So there's little things like that. If you're working with a good photographer, he'll show you, the things you can do to get out the shakes before you start. Tip number 7, take care of your hands. Tip number 8, patience and perseverance. Honey, it could be a long 40 days and 40 nights before you get to where you want to go with your hand modeling. Not everybody has the background in modeling that I had, so I had a head start, but there's a lot of girls that had to really put in the time before they could get to where they wanted to be. But it's all worth, just wait it out. It's all worth it because, I get stopped on the street. I get recognized on the street. I'll be signing a credit card receipt over there, when I'm shopping and stuff. And I get recognized. The girl behind the counter takes my receipt. She says, "Thank you, Mrs. Buffem." I've actually been thinking about going on one of those cons, where they tour around and they, or like the superhero people and all that. The girl from Twilight, she held the apple. She does Twilight tours there. She'll go to these Twilight conventions and she'll, hold the apple for the people over there. Tip number 9. Okay, you guys, tip number 9. Hand modeling is not easy, okay? In fact, hand modeling is so not easy, it couldn't be any easier. One time I was having my housemaid give me a pedicure, Oh my God, I had such a busy day, doing nothing. And then there I was, and she was giving me the pedicure, later that day. And by the time she finished, the day was over. I was exhausted. Tip number 10, have somebody else do things for you, like cut vegetables or feed you. You don't want to cut your hands. Okay, you got to take care of your hands. That's the money. The hands are, what they call the money shot. That's the hands, I'll never forget, one time I was doing a shoot with this famous photographer. We were in a studio. They were doing a lot of filming, a lot of videography, a lot of, whatever, this and that. Such pretty girls there, so exotic looking, And I could hear them yelling from other rooms, make sure the money shot is clear. So you're going to want to make sure your money shot is clear. I don't know if I should. Well, no, I'm going to tell them. So I've decided to parlay my hand modeling into a new endeavor based on this photographer. This other photographer said to me, he said, Anita, your hands are unbelievable. In fact, I would say they're so unbelievable that you have the hands for foot modeling. And there I was on my back with my legs over my head. And I thought to myself, well, this must be what feet modeling is like. You must have to keep your feet up. So why not? So if there's anybody out there who would be casting or need photos of my feet for any reason, I know a lot of you guys have already written and asked me for pictures of my feet. And now we're going to be getting into that. Slide into my DMs and I'll have Vinny get you pictures of my feet. He's got lots of photos of me. I just want to say thank you to all my fans from my hand modeling days, because without you guys, both of you, I don't know what I would do, It's really helped me blossom into the businesswoman I am today and into the woman I am today, and taught me so much, and about myself too. I was working with another photographer. It was a casting agent. I think it was a photographer. He's taking my picture. And I still brings me to tears because when I saw those photos of myself that he had took, it was the first time I could look at myself and say, you know what? I am beautiful naked. She takes my receipt. She says, "Thank you, Mrs. Buffem." To hold your hands. Okay, right? It was the first time I could look at myself and say, you know what? I am beautiful naked. That's a good ending, right?